Hello, this is Richard C. Wilson with the Family Office Club. Today we're doing a member spotlight video with Mark Mrky of Life Insurance Settlements, Inc. Welcome, Mark.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so I want to start out. This is something we haven't talked about enough within the Family Office Club, the whole topic of life settlements, and something I want to be focusing more on. What would be the short description of really what you do in the industry?
Yeah, we are a licensed life settlement broker, and we have one responsibility, and that's representing our client, a consumer or a financial advisor who has brought a consumer to us in the appraisal, the valuation, and then liquidation of an insurance policy that they own that they feel that they no longer want, need, or can afford. What surprises people is that many instances in a life settlement transaction, you may get a value of anywhere from 2 to as high as 10 times the carrier's stated cash surrender value in that life settlement valuation.
Huh. Yeah, that's pretty surprising that you get 2 to 10 times. I mean, you would think that it would not be possible, because if they're paying for that cash value or not, and you let it lapse and you get zero value for it, then it probably makes people wonder, how is that possible? Is that even real? It seems almost too good to be true, et cetera. But there's a lot of these life settlements getting done. It's a pretty large market overall. It's not some new thing that somebody just made up a year or two ago. It's been around for a while, right?
Yeah, our industry, I've been in the industry 18 years. My partners were some of the pioneers in this industry. They've been in for around 25 years. So
wow.
Yeah, the industry has been around for quite a while. And I think what surprises people is the market potential, I guess. There's over 500,000 policies that are lapsed every year on seniors. That's just folks 65 and older. That is our market. And that represents anywhere from 100 to as high as 140 billion, that is with a B, of life insurance that is lapsed every single year on a senior. So the market is vast, to say the least.
Wow. And what size and types of policies are life settlements worthwhile to do for?
Yeah, and that's varied. Really, the answer is any type of policy, whether it's a universal life policy, a convertible term, a survivorship, a whole life, a variable, any type of policy qualifies for a life settlement. And the policy death benefit can be as small as 100,000 and can be as large as 50 million, and everywhere in between. And this is on folks that are 65 and older. Predominantly, the policies that we see as a life settlement broker are universal life policies, and those typically are policies that have low cash surrenders. The client is looking at the policy, deciding the policy no longer fits their expectations. Maybe the policy hasn't performed to expectations. And instead of taking it back to the carrier and taking what the carrier says the value is, they come to a licensed life settlement broker like myself, and we're able to put that policy in front of various institutional capital sources. And it's important to know that these are hedge funds, pension funds, large institutions, accredited investment firms that are buying these policies from seniors for an amount that's considerably over their present cash surrender value.
And I guess people are curious probably how you can get a multiple of what the carrier would give you. And I guess it's as simple as, if someone else keeps making those payments on the client's behalf, then, one day when the person does pass away, there'll be a payout, and someone's done that math of that payout's going to be greater than what the insurance carrier is wanting to pay you, because most people don't even know they can do a life settlement. So they're kind of taking advantage of that and saying, no, if you want to just get the cash surrender value now, we're just going to give you this little amount, knowing that they don't understand they might be able to go to the life settlement market and get 2 to 10 times that amount. Is that part of what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, you have to put things into perspective. You may have a policy, let's say it's $1 million policy, and let's say you have $500,000 cash surrender value. Well, that might be a very good amount, and that's a tough number to beat. But what if that 500,000 cash surrender value is in a $20 million policy? That might not be such a great value to simply surrender back to the insurance carrier. So what my buyers are looking for, they're looking at the cost of the insurance going forward to purchase the policy. They're looking at the age of the individual. Again, we're looking for folks that are typically 65, 70 and above. And then we're looking at their mortality. The buyers in this marketplace are buying based on how long your client's going to live. And that can be anywhere from 2 years to as high as 20 years and everything in between. So their main objective is to look at that cash surrender, say, okay, well, how much can we beat that number by? And as a licensed life settlement broker, my job is to make sure all of the buyers, and there are many, there are dozens of buyers in my industry, that they look at that policy and say, okay, well, how much can we beat that by? And it is a bidding scenario. The buyers are trying to buy for their best interest. A life settlement broker is trying to get the policy sold in a client's best interest, which again, the client is who we represent.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. What's the number one most powerful piece of advice you could provide somebody who's considering a life settlement?
Yeah, I look at it this way. You appraise all of your assets, your stocks, your bonds, your real estate, your jewelry, whatever it is. When you decided that that asset no longer meets your needs, you do what? You put it out to market and you sell it. Well, why not look at your life insurance in that same perspective? Your life insurance policy might be the single most valuable asset that you own. And that asset, your life insurance policy, does have real value in today's market. So you can take that policy, whether it's a $100,000 policy or a $50 million policy, and have that appraised in the life settlement market. And as we mentioned earlier, that appraisal may come back 2 times your cash surrender value. It may come back as high as 10 times your cash surrender value. So whether you're a financial advisor, a trustee of a trust, or a consumer listening to this message, you absolutely owe it to yourself, owe it to your client, that if they have this asset that they feel that they no longer need, if they're one of those 500,000 plus people that surrender a policy every year, have the policy appraised in the life settlement market, because you may just find that that appraisal value comes back at a number that's considerably higher than what the insurance carrier's value is.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, I didn't know how large the industry was, and just think of all the tens of thousands of people who maybe could have had their retirement supplemented, or gone on a round the world vacation, or paid for a new house for their kids or whatever, and had a more enjoyable lifestyle if they just knew that life settlements actually existed. So I guess it's a big educational challenge, and I'm happy to be part of that, because I think it is a bit of an impact investment. You're really improving the lives of seniors who, without a better way of describing it, are kind of being taken advantage of by insurance companies if they don't know that they could do a life settlement, and they just say, okay, the cash value is 200,000. I guess we have to take that, and maybe the real value is $1 million in the marketplace. I mean, that changes their whole life potentially.
Yeah, it absolutely does. The secondary market for life insurance, which is the life settlement market, does just that. It appraises this asset, their life insurance, for the true value. And as I mentioned earlier, your stated cash surrender value might be a great number, but then again, the life settlement policy valuation may be a number that's considerably higher, and that gives you something to think about, whether you own a small policy, a large policy, a key man policy, and you're a retired executive, really any and all type of policy that an individual feels that they no longer need, feels that it no longer meets their particular circumstances. You absolutely should have it appraised in my market. It is a free, non-binding appraisal. Our appraisal process takes anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. And then we come back to our advisor or our consumer with that appraisal. And at that time, they're free to sell the policy, or they may decide to hold on after all.
Great. No, I appreciate it. This is one of the only investments I know of that are, it's related to death. And, sometimes people get a little strange even thinking about death or talking about it or investing around it, but it's such a helpful thing to have in the marketplace that I think once people understand that, they see not only the value, but how it really can help transform someone's life for the better and help them with their quality of life. So I'm happy to be part of that and keep this in mind for our clients and our work here at the Family Office Club. What's the best way for someone to reach out and get in touch with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, I'm going to put this up on the screen here. Hopefully you can see it right and clear. My cell phone is 954-326-9378. And then my email, markm@lisettlements.com. Those are the best way to reach me, or you can reach me here in the office. Everything starts with a phone call in my industry. When an advisor, a consumer, or a trustee calls, we'll ask them a few questions. We'll qualify and see if they are a fit for our industry. And if they are, we'll send out an application to them. That application comes back to us, and then we go to work. And like I said, within 3 to 4 weeks, we're able to provide them that valuation at no cost to decide if it makes sense to sell their policy or not.
Okay. And then what's the time period after they get that valuation to closing the deal and getting the cash in hand typically? Is that another 3 to 4 weeks or?
Yeah, you're typically looking add another 3 to 4 weeks in the closing timeline. So once our appraisal process is done, which again, 3 to 4 weeks, we deliver an offer to you. Client accepts the offer. Contracts are sent out, signed, sealed, sent to the insurance carrier for change of ownership. And that's about a 3-week process. So start to finish, you're looking at a good 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, depending on the carrier. But plan for that in the appraisal process, 6 to 8 weeks from start to finish for your client to receive their funding.
Right. Okay. Good to know. Great. Well, thanks for being a member of the Family Office Club, Mark. Happy to keep in touch, and hopefully we'll be working together with a few clients, just through the investors we work with. So appreciate you being part of everything here.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time today. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.